How's it going? Hopefully everyone's having an awesome day, because I certainly am. We actually have some good news. For once, this was actually published 2 days ago, updated 21 hours ago. But illegal border crossings into U.S. drop after Mexican boosts enforcement. I think I've said this a couple times. If Mexico would do their part to protect their southern border, preventing people from crossing into their country, that's going to prevent people coming into our country. But illegal crossings in the U.S. Mexico has decreased in providing temporary relief for the White House negotiation on solemn restrictions and aid for Ukraine and Israel. But here's the thing is Mexico needs to keep doing their part in order for it to work. Now, honestly, I think we should just keep the people in Mexico. That's just my personal opinion. I think Mexico is definitely a safe country. I mean, I get it has its dangers, but so does America. According to the AP, which leans left, I mean, I'm actually going to read one of their articles, not just propagated one. U.S. sees a drop in illegal border crossings after Mexico increases enforcement. Who would have thunk? See here, Eagle Pass AP, Daniel Bermez. See here, this was, I guess it was written on January, but it was updated on January. Doesn't say when it was written. Hoping it would. This here, Daniel Perez's family has fled Venezuela and was headed to the U.S. to seek asylum when the freight train that were riding through Mexico had stopped by immigration officials. His wife tried to explain that her family had permission to go to the U.S. Instead, they flew her to Mexico's southern border as part of a surge of enforcement actions the U.S. official had said had contributed to a sharp drop in illegal border crossings. But did they have permission? I don't know if they had permission. In addition, forcing migrants from trains, Mexico resumed flying and busing them to the southern part of the country and started flying some home to Venezuela. Even if temporary, the decrease in illegal crossings is welcome news, not just for the White House, not just for Joe Biden, but for Texas, for New Mexico, Arizona, California. Because if there's less people going through Mexico, the border can actually see relief. I mean, of course, it's good news for the White House. President Joe Biden administration is locked in talks with Senate negotiators over restricting asylums and $110 billion in aid. $110 billion in aid for Ukraine, and Israel hangs in balance. I mean, I kind of wish, I get what the Republicans are doing. Because if they don't try to get some border patrol spending or actual changes to how Biden's handling the immigration, then they're not going to be able to. So they're holding aid, which I don't think should be going to Ukraine. I think Israel should be its separate bill, because I would rather support Israel than I will Ukraine. Bullmerzer said his wife became separated from the family when she talked to authorities and gathered his stepchild and their belongings. He wanted to run, but his wife said that they shouldn't because they had to follow procedures by making an appointment with the U.S. immigration authorities. Oh, man. My throat's hurting. Shouldn't have, I'm not going to say that. I shouldn't have had that snack. That's all right. I told her, don't trust them. Let's go to the bush, Burma said, and adding that the other migrants had fled. We recalled telling him, why are they sending back if we have an appointment? I guess they do have an appointment. Last week, residents and his stepchild and two other relatives were waiting for her at the shelter in Mexico border town of Paradise Negras, and she took the bus back in hopes that she was still making the date. U.S. Immigration Agency sent at least 22 flights from its border region with the U.S. to southern cities during the last 10 days of December, according to a witness at the border advocacy group that tracks flight data. Most were from Piedras Negras, in which they crossed the border from Eagle Pass, Texas. My question is, if you had an appointment with immigration, could you not get an airplane ticket? Or does that cost too much? I don't know. This is an actual legitimate question. Mexico also ran two removal flights to Venezuela with 329 migrants, a stretch that was punctuated by the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken's visit to Mexico City on December 28th to confront the unprecedented crossing into the United States. I wonder if we agreed to give them money. I wonder if they're holding that hostage saying, send us more money and we'll fix your immigration. You don't give us money, we're going to make it worse. I mean, that's how it kind of feels like. President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador said a financial shortfall that had led to the immigration agency to suspend deportations and other operations was resolved. So basically, he got his bribe. He did not offer details. Arrests for illegal crossings into U.S. from Mexico fell about 2,500 on Monday, down from more than 10,000 several days in December, according to the U.S. authorities. In the Border Patrol busiest area, arrests totaled 13,800 during the 7-day period ending Friday, down from 29% from 19,400 2 weeks earlier, according to Tucson, Arizona Sector Chief John Malin. Much longer is this? It's not too much longer. Let's see, a drop led by U.S. Customs and Border Protection to reopen the port of entry in Lukeville, Arizona on Thursday after a month-long closure on most direct route from Phoenix to its nearest beaches. U.S. also restored operation in Eagle Pass and other 3 locations. Merchants in Eagle Pass, the city of about 30,000 people, saw sales take a major hit while the bridge was closed to vehicle traffic so the border agents could be reassigned to help process migrants. What does it mean to process migrants? That's what I want to know. Maverick County Judge Ramsey English Cantu said, "We survived pretty much from everything that comes from Mexico side," he said. I mean, I get it. No one wants to go to El Paso. No one really wants to go to the border. So I get that Mexico wants a piece of United States when it comes to that business, because we may have something better to offer them from our side that's not available in Mexico. So I get it. Or maybe El Paso's the closest city. Let's see here. Last month, the CBP resumed freight crossing El Paso, or Eagle Pass in El Paso, Texas, after a 5-day shutdown. And the U.S. officials said it was a response as many as 1,000 migrants riding atop a single train through Mexico before trying to walk across the border. Piedras Negras on Thursday, Casa de Migrante housed about 200 migrants, down from a high as 1,500 recently. Among them was Manuel Rodriguez, 40, who says his family will miss their appointment to seek asylum that was made through the U.S. government CBP One app. He said the appointment was registered with his in-laws who were deported to Venezuela after authorities boarded the bus that they were riding. I mean, I have a little sympathy, but not a whole lot of sympathy. You don't deserve to be in America. I'm sorry. Only citizens are allowed to be, are not required, but have that opportunity. I mean, get people want to come here and understand because America's great. I love America. I'm glad I was born in America, but I'm also an American citizen. That's like me trying to go to another country. I'm not owed to go to that country. That country has every right to say I'm not allowed. Let's see here. So there's I mean, I get that some of these countries are third world or fourth world countries, and I get that it's better here. And that's where my sympathy lies right there. It was all under her name, and she lost everything. Let's hear. Rodriguez said, proposals are being discussed by the White House and the Senate negotiators, including new expulsion authority that would deny rights to seek asylums if illegal boarding crossing reaches a certain threshold. Such authority would almost certainly depend on Mexico's willingness to take back non-Mexicans who entered the U.S. illegally, something it does now on a limited scale. Or you could just not let them pass. Just let them stay in Mexico. Make them stay in Mexico. There's that option. Let's hear. Mexico's support was crucial to defunct Trump's era policies that forced 70,000 asylum seekers to wait in Mexico for hearings in the U.S. Immigration Court to deny rights to seek asylum during COVID-19 pandemic. I kind of wish that was still in place right now. Not the pandemic, but remain in Mexico, because that really, because people don't like Mexico. They're traveling through Mexico to go to America. So they really don't like Mexico. And you have to remain in Mexico until your hearing. That's going to dissuade people from coming. Let's hear. Andrew Seeley, president of Migration Policy Institute in Washington, D.C., cautioned against overstating Mexicans' role in recent drop in traffic. Panel reported that less than 25,000 migrants walked through the Darien jungle in December, about half of October's level, and a sign that fewer people are leaving South America for U.S. Migration usually drops in December amidst the holidays and cold weather. The U.S. is able to lean on Mexico for short-term enforcement effect on migration at the border, but the long-term effects are not always clear, Seeley said. I mean, I agree. We are not able to lean on Mexico, which is an issue because Mexico's border is a lot smaller than our border with Mexico. So they could easily enforce it or ask us to enforce it because we'll enforce it. Prevent them from coming into Mexico. You prevent them from coming into United States. And then Mexico can make it southern. And then eventually it's going to stop the flow. Now I get that there's people that actually do need help. There's actual people that are in danger if they stay in their country. And that's what asylum seekers is for. But a lot of these people are not asylum seekers. They're just seeking a better environment so they could have a decent life, which they feel they're not able to do in their home country. That being said, I'm tired. Apparently I didn't get enough sleep last night. So this is going to be the end of my video. Leave a comment down below what your thoughts are. But most importantly, have yourself a wonderful day, morning, or evening.